Well, hi everybody, Chris here, and I have two drives that came in through the mail. That's the U.S. Postal Service, for those of you who don't know. Funny thing is, this one I opened, and I have another one over there that I haven't opened yet, and we're going to do that on today's video, but I wanted to show you this, because it's almost comical. It's sad, but yeah. So this is a drive that was mailed to me in a paper envelope. It's actually got a bubble in it. It's one of those very thin little bubble mailers, and of course all the bubble got popped. This drive was in pretty rough shape when it came out of the package here, and I haven't even tested it yet, so we're gonna do that too maybe on this video. But first, let me show you what happened when I opened this thing, and then we'll pick back up here after that. I wanted to record opening it so I could see for posterity how this looks. So right here we have a puncture in the corner. I can feel the item there. Same thing on this side, we have punctures in the corners. Okay, inside, I can tell already the faceplate is broken. We have it wrapped in a single layer of bubble wrap. Oh, sure, let's tape it right to the drive itself. Yes, and unfortunately, this thing bit the dust. I knew it would. I knew it would. That's what happens when you don't put adequate padding on these things. When you're a negligent shipper, that's what happens. So, fortunately, oh, look. We have a corner strike here on the circuit board where it took a nice heavy hit. I don't know if you can see that, but I will photograph it for sure. So back here on the bench, and we have another one that came in a box. Yes, and this one was sent priority mail, and it seems to be well packaged, except I don't know if you can tell, but there's slack space in this box. That drive is kind of sloshing around in there, but it sounds to be well padded. So I'm hoping better for this drive than this one. So the deal with this one, the faceplate, is broken. I don't know if you can see those tabs there. It's kind of hard to get it on the camera. There we go. The tabs break off. And the funny story is that the seller said, oh, the faceplate is made to come off. Yeah, it is. If you remove the two screws. There's also another way it comes off, and that is if you ship it media mail. It also comes off. So I think we're going to test this one out. The circuit board does seem to be okay. I don't know if you can quite tell. It did get that hard hit in the corner, and there's a crease in the board right here, and I'm not sure if that's affecting the power connectors here. I'm willing to bet it's probably okay, but I wouldn't be able to use this board as a replacement for maybe other than my own purposes, because it's just not a perfect board. And yeah, so this is a funny one. Let's open this one. This could be a lot of fun. Now, priority mail usually turns out a lot better, especially in the box. It's a much quicker handling time than media mail. And media mail, just imagine like a tractor bucket, and they scoop up your boxes and they dump them into like a train hauler thing, like a hopper car, you know. Ship it across the country. Okay, so we do have some... Oh, what? What is this? What? Oh my goodness. This is 2 drives? What? Okay, I was not expecting 2 drives. I thought this was 1 drive. Okay. Okay. Alright, wow. Alright, well our tale of 2 drives is now the tale of 3 drives. Okay, so here's why I think that might have happened. This was an eBay buy, and I think the guy had the listing confused, and it said it was an ST225, but it had a picture of an ST251. Maybe I'm the one who was confused. I didn't realize that that was gonna be 2 drives. Oh wow, okay. So these were supposed to be, sorry for the crunchy bubble wrap here. Yeah, and see, this is sufficient. This is more than 1 layer of bubble. And look how this thing comes out. Look, I can see already there's a faceplate on it, and it's not smashed. Oh, it's not smashed in the faceplate. Which one are you? Oh, look at that. That's an ST251-1. Ooh, nice. And it's clean. This is really clean looking. Oh, wow. It's got the rails there for like AT type cases. Oh, this is clean. Oh, the contacts are shiny. Can you even see that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so what? Wow, okay, 1 nice drive there. We're gonna get rid of this bubble wrap. Here's what I want to do is Mylar. I love anti-static bags, everyone, just so you know. Anti-static bags are my best friend. Okay, so here is number 2. So I'm guessing this is gonna be an ST225. I thought the guy had the listing confused. Apparently I'm the confused one. Okay, so.
Wow, this is impressive. Some kind of nice, really heavy-duty shipping wrap. It's almost like pallet wrap. Like, think of it like industrial strength. Here's some tape.
See, that's how you bubble wrap stuff right there, people. That is how you bubble wrap things. This is like 4 to 5 layers of bubble wrap. Oh, most excellent. Most excellent. Sorry to keep going off the camera there. So this one, if you can't tell already, I'm pretty sure that's an ST225. Yeah, there it is. This one is clean too. And actually kind of neat here because, check this out. Do you see the 2 different shades in these things? I mean, look at that. And I've wanted to note that, where the colors in these things range from a silvery to a gold and everything in between. And sometimes there's even nice color in the metal itself. This is, I'm going to say, galvanized or some form of cast metal. Something that can have nice patterns in it sometimes. Sure, but okay. These, I believe, are untested. Notice, 2 drives shipped in 1 box with plenty of bubble wrap, and we don't have any broken faceplates. And see, look at that. One of them is nicely Seagate branded right here. We have another one, no branding on the front. Man, these are nice. Wow, these are nice drives. I'm excited about these. Oh my goodness. And we'll bring old Scrappy back in here. Scrappy is an ST238, and I think we can just run this as a ST225. We can test all 3 of these drives with 1 MFM controller setup. So, yeah. Well, let me show you how I have this hooked up. This is our ST251-1 that just came in the mail. And I have it hooked up to, yes, again, the 386. We still have the RLL controller in there from before, and I have here an XT IDE with a flash card that I've added some utilities on. And yeah, let's just give this thing a boot. setup utility. So when we get in there, we're going to try and get to the format utility. And I need a boot disk. Always something. Hey, we're booting. All right. So we're booting off this floppy here. It's a DOS 5 boot disk, and I have debug and our other things on it here. Fdisk and format and things. Park. So let's go to debug, and this one was G equals CC00:5. And the first thing we're going to do, it says that we don't have any drive parameters defined, so we're going to press 1 to change the parameters. Oh, sorry. And we just scroll through using plus and minus until we find what is an ST277. So we're looking for 820 cylinders with 6 heads. Yep, right there, type 10. I think I had that figured out before. So we're formatting this on an RLL controller. Yes. And so what that did is that wrote the parameter table on the drive in a way that the controller can now recognize it. And so when we reboot again, we'll go back into that utility. The controller will now recognize the parameters of the drive. The BIOS here, the AMI BIOS, will say, I believe, type 10 or type 1. Its parameters are different. Its parameters won't be correct. We just have to wait. It takes a minute here. So when I say its parameters won't be correct, it's because the parameters won't match what the parameters of the controllers are. They have different drive tables, but they seem to get along in the sense that you can let it use one or the other. And I get along pretty well by letting it use the one from the drive controller itself. And I press A there from the XT-IDE BIOS to get to the floppy boot. And yeah, there we go. So just seconds away from debug. Here we are, debug. And so we're running on a 386 SX40 here. And I find it to be a pretty speedy machine, all things considered. So now we see 820 cylinders, 6 heads, no write pre-comp, and 26 sectors per track. I've had some questions about interleave, and there are no interleave options on this particular drive. I'm going to go ahead and low level it, format it. Yes. Fatal error, check your hardware setup. Burned. So hey, yeah, drive select jumper, I should have checked that prior to, oh, get on there. I should have checked that first. That should do us a little better. So I thought I was recording, the camera shut off, weird, but yeah, we are low level formatting, and listen to this thing, it is just like a clock. So very nice clean sounds coming out of this drive. The bearing sounds really nice. The head movement sounds really nice. And I haven't done anything to it. You saw me take it right out of the box. I mean, sometimes they're not so nice. They might need lubrication or some other attention. But yeah, I like how this one's turning out so far. So our ST251, here's how that thing turned out. Yeah, I like it. So easily this ST251 is the nicest example of that drive model that I have in the library yet. So, all right, awesome. Let's get on to the ST225. So I wanted to show you this. We have the ST225 hooked up here and running. And do you hear it? So we get a message on the screen that says wait, and we hear the drive thrashing around. And really all you're hearing is the controller moving the head motor to the end of its travel. And then you get this message, and it says C:drive error. Press F1 to resume. And I wanted to point this out because if you get this error, it doesn't mean that your hard drive is bad. And you might be inclined to think that if you just heard the drive making those noises and then the computer tells you C drive error. It doesn't mean the drive is bad. It means that we need to give it the low-level format. And that would be expected. Anytime you change a drive to a different controller, you will need to low-level format it with that controller. So we're going to do the debug, and we'll set the drive parameters for this one. G equals CC00:5. Option 1. Well, now look at that. It still has the previous parameters in there. Interesting. It didn't have them in there earlier. Alright, so hey, right there. Type 2. That's 615 cylinders, 4 heads. Pre-comp cylinder is 300. Now that's for the right pre-comp, and usually that would be for the MFM format. Sectors per track 26. So this is going to be an ST238 equivalent. Let's try that out. Yes. And we'll reboot. We still might get some funky drive noises here. Those are a little nicer. So you're hearing the drive micro-stepping, looking for its track 0. It's trying to find its home position, so to speak. And the controller will try this a few times before it gives up. So you just have to be patient here sometimes, and every system and every controller is going to behave a little bit differently. So that's just something to keep in mind, and you'll have to, over time, you will get familiar with your own controllers and how they behave. Oh, this one's loving it. So I'm not sure. We're going to see if this thing will handle the RLL format. Sort of an extreme test to try on it first. But yeah, we'll go ahead here. Boot from the floppy. And we should be able to go ahead with a low level now. Well, we're doing it. That one's ticking away too. Sounds very nice. Well, seriously. So, here's the ST225. I did get through the file system format and partitioning and all that with no problem at all. And here in SpinRite, we see what looks like an almost perfect drive. Maybe some spots here up in the top where it had trouble reading. But really, this is an MFM drive, and it wasn't meant to take an RLL format. And this tells me that really this ST225 on a proper MFM controller would probably do really well. This is a nice sounding drive, and it is really clean. I'm just I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Hey, and it even has its faceplate, so that's pretty remarkable. Well, I hooked up the ST238R. The one that got smashed around in the paper envelope via media mail. Wow, I'm surprised that drive's even working at all. Alright, well, let's get on with the low level format here. See what we can make this thing do. The parameters are set already. We don't have to change those from the previous drive. It does have the same parameters as the ST225, except that this is actually the RLL rated one. So yes, and yes. Wow, it's doing it. without much complaint. So when this drive was sent to me, it was described as having a bad sector. And okay, I'm not worried about that, but based on that description, it sounded like the drive was working, and yeah, even after being smashed around in the mail, here it is. Still working. My goodness, I did not expect this. I'm wondering now if it is going to have a bad spot on it or not. I guess we'll get through the low level format here, and we'll partition it and we'll see what we get. So here, just to show you on the Junkie McJunkerson drive, our ST238R, this is the track map and spin right, and you see here from the beginning of the drive until a little ways in, it looks pretty clean and nice, and then it has a bad section through here, and then from here all the way to the end of the drive is also nice and clean. So I think this thing would be a good candidate for the type of bounded initialization you can do in SpinRite. You can actually create partitions by cylinder numbers, and so you could create a smaller C partition here in this first bit of good space, create a D partition, a D drive if you will, in the rest of this space, and you would be able to use this drive without worrying about any of that bad space in the middle of it. I've shown that in another video, and I might do a video soon on formatting and setting up your drives and stuff for how you can use them. But yeah, so this drive isn't perfect, but it does seem to work. I think it's going to be a good candidate also for a control board swap. I'll swap in a better control board for it, and the motor sounds a little tired on this thing as well, but we'll give it some loving and see if maybe we can rejuvenate it a little bit, maybe in another video. So yeah, not too bad though. I didn't even expect this thing to work, so the fact that it even works is kind of a plus. And just one final note, since this is an ST238R, we have to park the heads before we shut down. And there you go. That's another video topic. Maybe I could do a video too on the whole notion of parking the heads and what that's all about. Oh, listen to that thing. Oh my goodness. So there we have it. The tale of two drives that came in the mail and turned out to be three. A near mint ST225, a very smashed ST238R, and another very nice specimen, the ST251-1. Faceplate was well bubble wrapped. No faceplate was kicked down the street. Oh, faceplate was well bubble wrapped. I think I see a trend here. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and I appreciate you watching my hard drive videos here. And yeah, I'm gonna keep making these. I have a few things in mind for some upcoming videos, so stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.